Hello, my name is Zisl Slepovitch, and I'm musician-in-residence at Yale University's Fortunoff Video Archive for Holocaust Testimonies. This video series is designed as a companion to our album Where Is Our Homeland, which is the first volume in the archive's ongoing effort to present songs and poems performed by survivors in testimonies given to the Fortunoff Archive over the last 40 years. You can learn more about the project on the archive's website, songsfromtestimonies.org. Where Is Our Homeland? Songs from Testimonies Volume 1 was recorded in 2019 by the Zisl Slepovitch Ensemble featuring renowned singer Sasha Lurje, Craig Udelman on the violin, Joshua Kemp on the accordion, keyboards and guitar, Dmitry Ishchenko on the bass, and myself on woodwinds. The songs in this collection differ vastly in terms of style, social and historical background, language, and many other aspects, but collectively they create a multidimensional picture of Jewish life before and during World War II. This song that we're going to talk about and listen to today was the song of the Płaszów Inmates. It was sung, or rather recited as a poem, by Ruth C, a native of Krakow, Poland, where she was born in 1920. During the Holocaust, Ruth survived several labor camps and concentration camps in both her native country and in Germany. The inmates wrote this poem. They were quietly passing it on to each other as a mean of hope for survival, as a hope to escape from the deadly cemetery gate, as the song goes.
Co dzień, a Nikola Siericholala Lagilachem Polanil. Co dzień o 5 rano głos trąbki budził nas, melodią dobrze znaną, wołał na apel plac. Stajemy równo w rzędzie, by ręką machnąć z dal, by uciec jak najprędzej od tych cmentarnych bram. Nad dachami ciemna noc, całe miasto śpi, tylko my, jeszcze jeden krok, by serce z bólu umiera. Nasze ukazało nisiti, by bajda haronu lekcat lokolkach diakti, ale zeu hashir.
Piąte rano, głos trąbki budzi nas, melodia dobrze znana, woła na apel plac. Stajemy równo w rzędzie, by ręką machnąć w dal, by uciec jak najprędzej od tych cmentarnych bram. By uciec jak najprędzej od tych cmentarnych bram.
The lyrics of this hymn were relayed by a survivor of the Płaszów concentration camp named Ruth Cohen, who believes it was written by one of her fellow inmates. It speaks to the terrible feeling that prisoners felt at roll call, Appelplatz, every morning at 5 a.m. in the camp, when the prisoners lined up and felt as if they were one step away from death. The notorious camp commander Amon Gut, who was portrayed by the actor Ralph Fiennes in the film Schindler's List, would sometimes randomly shoot the prisoners at whim during these roll calls. Płaszów represented more than the deaths of individuals. Płaszów represented the death of the Krakow Jewish community. So by thinking about the Krakow Jewish community before the Holocaust, we can better appreciate the immensity of the loss. Krakow had been a major religious center. Throughout the early modern period, it was home to several leading rabbinical figures, such as Rabbi Moses Isserles, Mordechai Jaffe, Yoel Circus. The visitor to Krakow today can still see the old synagogues, testament to its former glory, the old Jewish cemetery. But by the interwar period, Krakow Jewry had become much more diverse. Krakow was home to theaters, cabarets, literary cafes. The great folk song writer Mordechai Guberte, who lived in Krakow, wrote the song Is Brent, Our Town is Burning, a defiant song calling on the Jews to rise up and defend themselves during the pogroms of the late 1930s. Krakow was also home to many Hasidic Jews, followers of the great Bobover Rebbe and the Belzer Rebbe. And it was home to a teacher's seminary to train teachers for Orthodox and Hasidic girls and women. Krakow was also a major Zionist center, and this was the affiliation of Ruth Cohen and her family. The great Rabbi Ozias Thon preached in the Temple Synagogue and was a fervent Zionist. This same, or parliament deputy, Apollinary Hartglass, was also a Zionist and lived in Krakow. In the wake of World War I, during the pogroms that occurred in Krakow, the Zionists were absolutely crucial to the formation of Jewish self-defense units. And after this, they formed a major newspaper, Novogenik, which had a circulation of around 15,000. Zionists held about half the seats on the Kehillah, or the Jewish communal self-government. The other half was held by Hasidic and assimilationist Jews. There was also a very popular Zionist youth group named Akiba, which would perform a major role in self-defense during the Holocaust. Ruth Cohen describes her upbringing in Krakow as occurring between two worlds, one Polish and one Hebrew. Ruth attended the Zionist gymnasium, where they would study in Polish half the day and Hebrew the other half of the day. She thought of herself as really a Zionist, but her family did not have any thoughts of immigrating to Palestine. They tried to escape when the war broke out, but it was just too late. First, they lived in the Krakow ghetto, and then on March 13th, they were deported along with most of Krakow Jews to the Płaszów concentration camp. And by this time, there were about 20,000 Jews who were prisoners there, and the camp was run by the notorious Amon Gut, the sadistic SS commandant. And Oskar Schindler's enamel factory was located adjacent to the camp. Gut and the other guards shot thousands of Jews and deported thousands more to their deaths in Auschwitz. According to Ruth, everyone was afraid all the time, but especially terrified at 5 a.m. in the morning when they would line up for roll call, Appelplatz. The song, the Hymn of Płaszów, reads as follows. Every morning at 5, the trumpet wakes us up with its familiar call to the Appelplatz. We stand in straight rows. If a hand were to signal in the distance, we would all escape as soon as possible from the cemetery gate. Dark night hovers over the roofs. The city is sound asleep. Only we just one more step, and the heart will die in pain. It's especially poignant to compare this song to the pre-war song by Gebertag, Is Brent, Our Town is Burning, which urged the Jews to rise up against their persecutors and fight. And certainly during the Holocaust, members of the youth group, Akiva, did just that. However, a more representative feeling is probably captured in this song, a feeling of despair, a feeling of terror, a longing for escape that rarely occurred.